when the great river starts to smoke. The Quebecois know that intense cold is moving in and that it's approaching minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. It's the month of January. It's been several weeks since the ice floes have invaded the winding St. Lawrence River. The Canadian River is one of the most complicated sea lanes in the world in terms of navigation. During the winter months, icebreakers relentlessly scour the Atlantic to Montreal, opening the passage to freighters. Having left the waters of the St. Lawrence behind, the Amundsen slowly begins its ascent of the Saguenay Fjord. One of the Canadian Coast Guard's largest icebreakers. Its mission today is to liberate 2 ships trapped in the ice. The St. Lawrence is not only a vital artery for Quebec's economy, but it is also a wonderful space of freedom for the people of its banks. This morning, Rémi Aubin ventures cautiously on the fjord.
If you're quiet, you can hear the groan. You can hear the motor. And then sometimes you can hear the ice breaking too. When the icebreaker passes, an undertow is formed and the waves underneath break up the ice. Not just next to the icebreaker, but it impacts on all the surrounding area, so it's very risky to walk out far like this, with the cracks that will form. So we stay in shallow waters, and if we see the icebreaker working, we leave.
Rémi is a fan of ice fishing, an ancestral Amerindian technique of stalking fish under the ice.
After years of experience, you know the depths and curves of the bottom. As a fisherman, I look for places where there are very steep escarpments. Fish naturally like to stay there, like cod, for example. And so in those places, there'll be pockets with concentrated masses of good quality fish. I need equipment like this, which is fast, so that I don't waste time, because the days are precious. I prefer to do it manually. It's physical exercise. It keeps me in shape. We catch cod, halibut, saba, flounder, rayfish. There are close to 60 different species of fish that can be caught here.
This type of fishing consists of placing lines at different depths in order to trap species that swim back up the salty waters of the fjord in winter.
I love fishing like this because it's truly a sport. I tell you, you lose pounds by doing this. You see, I'm always rushing, catching my breath. It's good for the heart. It reoxygenates. This is my favorite fishing technique. That's it. Wow. A nice black cod.
Une belle morue noire.
After drilling several holes to increase his chances, Rémi does everything he can do to, above all, not miss the moment when the fish takes the bait.
Ça y est.
There we go.
Je vais le remonter
I'm
dans
going to bring it up slowly.
Peut-être une
It's
petite
maybe a
mosaque,
little ogak,
peut-être un
maybe a
sébaste.
redfish.
C'est un rouget.
It's a red mullet, a redfish.
C'est le poisson emblématique. Là,
It's
ici.
our iconic fish here. It attracts the tourist fishermen. It's a fish that's very delicious. We're going to make an excellent meal with
On va
it.
se faire une excellente cuisine.
It's already been several days since deep sea fishing season opened, but the authorities are slow to give the green light on setting up a fishing village on the ice.
You see the pickets everywhere? They'll correspond with people's addresses. The numbers will all have the cabins with which they'll match up. So it'll become a village, a city, and at the same time, vehicles will circulate here. Friends will meet up. It'll all take place here.
Each morning for the past week, Remy has been going to meet with specialists who test the quality of the ice thanks to samples taken. These last few days, the clear, most resistant ice hadn't yet reached the 12-inch thickness required. But with the extreme cold of the last hours, that result could well change.
Here, ice fishing brings in close to $5 million in economic revenues for only 1.5 months of fishing. So each week they measure the thickness of the ice. It's for the security. You have to understand, it is secure here, but the emotions are there. They have to do their job. They're like police officers.
And so, the ice bank thickened a little more during the night. With a little luck, the inhabitants of the Bay of Ha-Ha could soon get back to their little houses on the fjord. Several feet from there, at the bottom of the bay in front of Port Alfred, the team of the icebreaker Amundsen gets ready.
Oui,
Yeah?
oui, je vais monter.
Yeah, I'm gonna come up.
Bon, voilà, ça fait partie.
So this is part of my daily life. I get up, and when I open the curtain, I see different landscapes. The guys are shoveling the snow. It's a joy to live in Canada, to work in Canada. At the moment, it's minus 13 degrees Fahrenheit outside, so it's extremely cold. The most difficult is being so far away. And also, the sea can sometimes be hostile. You can be in a far-flung area with no internet, no feedback, no communication with family or friends. So it can be difficult on a personal level. You have to be strong, but I've always been a pretty solitary and independent person. As much as I can go have fun with friends, go to discotheques, I can also be a very quiet guy. So that allows me in the end to have this world here. It's a very unique experience.
It's 7 p.m. Before taking his break, Thierry, the second lieutenant, goes to the officers' dining hall for a quick dinner. In this unit, there are close to 50 members on the team who live in close quarters during almost 4 weeks. 4 weeks of feeling the infernal vibrations of the icebreaker. For in order to melt the ice floes, the ship literally mounts on the ice, smashes it, and then separates it into a myriad of pieces.
Bonjour, messieurs, ça va?
Good morning, gentlemen. Everything okay? This is the control room. It's the hub of the machine room. We have access to all the controls, the alarms. We have no margin of error. All the current originates here, generating propulsion. Yes, Commander Patrice. We're going to go on the exterior bridge of the ship to repair the blade that broke. Is that okay? Thanks.
To break the ice banks to 1 meter of thickness, they must not only have a bow that can handle the most violent shocks, but also and above all, powerful motors.
As you can see, these are generators. They're for propulsion. It's equivalent to 6 locomotives, which is really powerful, in order to be able to break the ice. When the motors are at their max, it's as if we had the electrical power of a small city here.
Patrice, the chief mechanic, is often on all fronts at once, because on the sea and in hostile conditions, the slightest little breakdown can quickly turn to catastrophe.
Verification of the light port side.
At the very top of the ship, in the wheelhouse, Thierry prepares to spend a night keeping watch.
There are 2 ships at Port Alfred which will be leaving soon. We'll escort them to the Bay of Haha, right to the edge of the ice, which is close to Lens Saint-Jean. That's 30 miles from here. It'll take us about 3 hours.
Before escorting the cargo ships, they must free them from the ice in which they are imprisoned. The Amundsen will thus undertake a whole series of delicate maneuvers in the center of the port to break the ice floes as close as possible to the hull.
We're going to continue until 2:50. Everything okay? Nice work.
We're going to leave the tugboat, place the cargo on the left, go towards the south, then turn around and continue towards the cabins. We should have them facing the first cargo, parallel.
Another several minutes, and the 2 enormous cargo ships filled with aluminum can finally follow the passage opened by the Amundsen. Commander Lessert isn't at the commands, but he supervises the whole operation.
The difficult point of this maneuver is that it calls for precision, consistency, and concentration. As you can see, we just passed a large ship by about 40 feet. As long as the little one is maneuvering and that the helmsman is at the helm, you have to be really concentrated. One false move, and it's collision. We should be able to leave without a scratch.
After 3.5 hours of navigating, the 3 boats finally reach the part of the fjord where the waters are freed from the ice.
Amundsen to BBC Hudson. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Thank you.
From now on, the cargo ships continue alone towards the ocean, end of mission for the Amundsen, and return to Port Alfred. On board the icebreaker, the seamen are on permanent alert. They are often faced with unexpected situations, and their work on the bridge, even if it only lasts several minutes, is extremely difficult and trying.
Everything's fine on the bridge now.
It is 7 a.m. Thierry can finally get some sleep.
Okay, let's bring it all back.
At the same moment, in the village of the bay, excitement reigns.
Est-ce que vos trous sont faits, là?
Non, pas encore.
It is now possible to set up his cabin on the fjord. In his bait and tackle store, Remy doesn't know where to begin.
It's here now.
These are your friends on Facebook?
Her, she's a real fisherman, or woman. It's been a long time since you last fished on ice.
Oh yeah, it's been 10, 15 years.
10, 15 years? You must have your own cabin.
Yeah.
You have the pink cabin, right?
Well, yeah, I like pink.
She has a cabin that's pink inside. It's great. This here, it stinks. If you rub this, it becomes like jelly afterwards. That's what sticks underneath. It's like herring. It's the herring that spreads the smell. It's great. Thanks very much.
Thank you. In only several hours, no less than 500 little houses arrive on the ice bank. Thousands of tons placed on a cover of ice and snow that rises and falls with the tides.
Rue de la Morue.
Cod Street.
Rue de la
That's
Morue,
Cod
à
Street to
gauche.
the left. We'll turn left here. We're going to see family and friends. And then there are also people from the other towns who come to spend the winter in their cabin here. In fact, we last saw them last year.
On revoit.
Now we're going to see them again.
C'est par là-bas.
It's that way.
Il y a quelques jours, lorsqu'on
Several days ago when we first came, it was deserted. Now we see it's coming to life.
s'installe, le village.
The ephemeral village that comes to life. Some people even have parabolic antennas for their televisions.
Parabolique pour la télévision, vous savez. C'est incroyable.
Incredible.
Donc, le soir,
So in the evening, people listen to the hockey match while preparing a nice meal here in Quebec.
un petit bravard pour se
A
réchauffer.
little bravard to warm up and spend the evening.
Déjà, ça va, Rémi? Ouais, on va prendre le deuxième, mettre à côté. On appelle ça ici...
We call that
jacker
jacking
la
up the
cabane.
cabin, or raising it.
Surélevé, si on veut. Non, rien n'est
Nothing's
prêt,
ready yet,
mais
but it's
c'est
my
la
winter
résidence,
home.
d'hiver. On va y
We
dormir,
sleep here,
quelques fois.
eat here sometimes.
On a une belle petite table
We
ici.
have a nice little table here that's ready to transform into a bed as well.
Ça aussi.
We can sleep here too. The couch can also fold out into a bed.
Sous nos pieds,
Under our feet, under the cabin, the water is 328 feet deep, and we're being held up by just this much of ice. Imagine when you sleep here, you sometimes hear noise from the boats, the lapping, and then the noise. And then sometimes we even hear the ice cracking. It's a pretty nice effect.
Ça fait un effet assez agréable.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good.
Going good? Ready for another season?
Guess I'd better be, huh?
That's for sure.
C'est sûr. Es-tu pas mal à la même place l'année passée? As-tu bien perdu?
What makes a fishing cabin charming is not only the funny feeling of being placed on the sea, it's also the possibility for fish fans to catch them in a warm place, sheltered from the elements. I put my little photos here. Here, I have the impression that I'm all alone in my cabin. I love the cold in the morning. Sometimes when I wake up here and it's cold, I go walking out there all alone in the world. It's what makes me feel good. This one here, I'm going to reel in. What more could you ask from life? I just lost it. I just lost it. You say, what a pity. There, I knew it. It jumped. I felt it. The inhabitants of this village, unique in the world, can thus live and fish on the fjord until the next ice melt.
Ah, mordu!
We got a bite.
Oh oui, l'as-tu eu peur?
That's great.
L'as-tu fait canapé?
Now you bring it up.
Oui.
It's the end of January. Remy and all his friends will peacefully let the winter slip by. One and a half months later, the first signs of spring are being felt. On the side of Quebec City, the ice floes start to slowly detach themselves from the banks of the Saint Laurent River. The thermometer still reads -4 degrees Fahrenheit, but the river water seems to be warming up.
Coast Guard, hello?
For the Ice Operations Office, it's a crucial moment. These climate and navigation specialists have the mission of mapping out the best routes for maritime and river traffic. In certain parts of the river, the ice begins to melt. In others, blizzards still reign.
We see the ice moving a bit, and that can create a lot of pressure. We have some ships here that progress with a little more difficulty, especially in the sector east of the island here called Anticosti. We check the possibility of optimizing our route to have the ship pass under conditions that are maybe a bit easier for them.
The de-icing maneuvers are about to start. The icebreakers must break the ice floes just before they shatter into larger pieces. These pieces can paralyze maritime traffic at any time or trigger floods. While the Amundsen leaves to secure the passage of cargo ships and ferries, a helicopter gets ready to take off from the base in Quebec. In order to better predict the movements of the ice floes on the Saint Laurent River, the Ice Operations Office counts on observers.
After that, we'll head towards Port Neuf. Perfect.
2 times per day, a helicopter flies over the river in order to chart out all the zones at risk.
Okay, can we get into position and take some photos? Affirmative. We'll take about 5 photos of the Port Neuf region. Now can we go to the other side? Yes, sir. Okay, like this? Yeah, I'm gonna go that way because I have it in front of me. Okay, perfect.
On the Amundsen, the de-icing work has started. The ship tries to get as close to the riverbank as possible in order to dislodge the most stubborn ice floes. The temperatures rise a little more each day. If enormous pieces detach themselves, they then become a menace for all river traffic. It's a real race against nature and against the clock that's at stake. Thierry and the other officers will thus take turns navigating from sunrise to sunset.
There are a lot of fishing cabins, as you can see. The biggest danger for these people here is getting too close to the melting ice there, where the ships go by. And then, I would say that the most dangerous moment is when springtime comes, when we have rises in temperature and the ice melts. We sometimes see the cabins float away. So people actually lose their cabins because the little piece of ice, the little ice islet, ends up sinking and the cabin sinks with it. That's the way it goes sometimes. Set yourself up parallel. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, you can go a little more to the left. You drifted a bit. You can see the piece is melting correctly in front with a nice cracking. Everything's fine. We're parallel. It looks fine.
With the north wind and the descending sea currents, the ice floes head slowly towards the Gulf of Saint Laurent in pieces. In the air, the helicopter assures that the operations take place without a hitch. The pilot follows his patrol above the bridges that cross the Saint Laurent. In general, it's there that the ice accumulates and sometimes damages the infrastructures. On first sight, nothing particular to report. The pieces of ice floes move normally. Look at all this beautiful ice with the boat. There's a cargo ship passing. There are wonderful ice floes, superb plates. And it's so beautiful with the light. Oh, the river's so beautiful. In fact, I was born very close to Saint Laurent in the St. Paul Bay. Ever since I was born, I've been on the banks of the Saint Laurent. And I think that's why I never want to be far away from it. Joanne Ferland fell in the river when she was a little girl. And that only strengthened her desire to measure up to the great river. Today, she takes advantage of her last trip on the icy waters of the Saint Laurent. But before crossing it completely, she always alerts the Canadian Coast Guard. When you have an ice canoe, there's an ethical code. You're an embarkation vessel, and so you have to respect that. You have certain security equipment, and you also have to advise the Coast Guard of every trip. You have to have a plan. So you have to inform them about your trip plan and what time you'll finish. And at the moment you haven't returned and they haven't had news from you, they know where to look for you. The Coast Guard makes sure that no ship is in view before authorizing any trip. On the Saint Laurent, the ice canoes are so small that they become almost invisible to the cargo ship commanders and ferry pilots. At the foot of Quebec's old city, the river narrows, and the currents accelerate the drifting ice plates. For the sporty, the great danger would be to fall into the water and be crushed between the pieces of the ice floes. Yeah! Stop steering! Hurry! Hurry! Get the girls moving! Let's stay with the oars! It's a passion. It's a privilege to be on a river in the winter in front of the coast. It's a team sport to be done among friends because you have to surmount it and really be synchronized. Come on, let's get ready! When we leave here, we have to have a strategy. There's a tide, there's different kinds of ice, and the 5 women have to work together. So you have to have good technique, be fast, and choose the right lines. Break! We don't go against the elements. We want to use them to have fun. So we'll ally ourselves with the currents, with the kind of ice, with the wind, the direction of the wind, that'll bring the ice from one coast to another, with the ice scape depending on where we are, if it's high or low, the force, and the objective of the trip. Yeah, beautiful. Perfect. Mission accomplished. Super conditions, still wintry, really. So here we're on a drifting plate, a bit like an island on the Saint Laurent. So we're moving slowly because the current is not at its maximum, it's at its minimum. So we're taking advantage of the first rays of sun to drink some hot chocolate and coffee with friends. Drink it down, Joni, drink it. You're the star. Yeah, cheers. In spite of the snowy landscapes and the cold, which still reigns on the river and in the fjord of Saguenay, it's springtime. On board the Amundsen, in spite of the amount of work still to be done, the atmosphere is lighter. Winter fades. The most difficult is over. In several weeks, the icebreaker will head towards the Arctic waters to participate in scientific missions. On the Bay of Ha Ha, the ice fishing village has disappeared as if by magic. Only a handful of true diehards set up very close to the riverbank, where the ice is most solid, take advantage of the last hours of fishing and feasting. In several weeks, the ice banks will have completely disappeared from the fjord. Remy will take out his boat and return fishing, but he'll be wishing for only one thing, that the winter will return as soon as possible.